And so there are many filmmakers in Nigeria, and a lot of them are men. But when we have women filmmakers, there's a certain power to it. There's a certain sassiness to it. There's a certain creativity to it that makes it all different, beautiful, as we have right here in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, our guest today on the softer side of things, Belinda Yanga, actor, filmmaker, screenwriter, and creative.
Overall creative, thank you.
We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
I can't help but...
No, you cannot just...
we'll not let it slide. So let's be clear. Should we leave the set?
Let's just
both of you.
So both of you can
let us sit down and be listening.
You know, let's just watch. Go ahead before.
No. You guys, just allow us.
Enjoy.
Okay, so we're happy to have you, Belinda. And, you know, I can't help but start this way. Writing comes to you naturally. I mean, you know, just sitting down and reading on your Instagram page, your ability to turn coffee into a story, just coffee. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And as we dovetail into, you know, your craft, we've been talking about the search for the original Nigerian stories. Jeffrey keeps talking about how we should have our own brand of sweets, you know, and all of that. And I believe that, you know, such stories are emerging. So talk us through what goes into creating, you know, amazing dialogue for the Nigerian brand of, you know, such category of stories.
What goes into creating dialogue, or what goes into writing our stories generally? What goes into it? It's a lot of tears. A lot of rants and a lot of crying. It's actually, for me, it doesn't come naturally for me. Writing doesn't come naturally. It's a painful process.
Wow.
Because if you're existing in Lagos, it's quite chaotic, it's noisy. And when you want to write, when you want to construct stories, or you want to muse, or you want to ruminate, I need quiet. Yeah. I need order. I need sanity. I need almost something spiritual, you know. So mixing that with the chaos of Lagos, which has its beauty, which has its own beauty, is always it's always a painful process to mix together, where I need quiet, stop making noise, there's so much generator noise, you know, so it's not actually a very smooth process for me writing. I always need to hide, for lack of a better word, go inwards, lock the door, tell my son, stay away from me. The process, the craft of it, you think up a story, you think up an idea, you see something on the road, for instance, a character, a person that you relate with, people in your life that you relate with, your bosses, just you're experiencing life, and an idea pops up, and you're like, you ask a question, I wonder what he does or she does. I wonder what happens in that house that we never see. We only see them in the morning, you know. And then all of this starts to form. You wonder what happens under the bridge, and then you start to imagine and you start to think. Sometimes it's real experiences, most times it's what ifs, what's happening that you're asking. And it begins to expand into something else, you know. Before you know it, you have a story, you have characters. You say you saw your boss, for instance, and you're like, I wonder how he never says any word to anybody in the office. I wonder how he lives at home. Maybe he's a serial killer. And then you start to think of all these things, and you're like, maybe he has 4 children. And he's training them to, who knows, maybe they're assassins, ninja assassins.
Imagination is
exactly. Set to work. And then you start to create them, you start to write them, and you start to give them words, start to give them life, what they do, what they like, what they want in this world, and your story comes together.
I think it's beautiful because just hearing you speak, I'm creating the story in my head already. Right. I added some native ninja-ish to the children.
Yes.
So they're not just ninjas, they have Ankaras.
Exactly. So that's the world building.
You know, so it's beautiful that you're actually replicating that process right here. I don't know if you're doing it intentionally, but it's brilliant. By the way, add to the Lagos chaos, the flood. Now, you know, and it has its beauty, as you said, but obviously some of these things we don't need them.
Chaotic beauty.
Exactly, we really don't need some of them. It's quite interesting because as you were coming in, I realized I'd seen you in a movie, Juju
Stories.
You know, I saw that movie, or at least the anthology, is that how you describe it?
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. The fact that we were able to take our culture,
urban legends.
Urban legends, and make it into a good movie. Things about, you know what, go see the movie. I'm not going to let the cat out. So we actually have original stories. People have said Nigeria is the new, we're the new crude, literally. So this is where they're mining stories from. Because we've seen it's like see finish for Hollywood. Even Bollywood, you can literally predict when there's music, there's a lot of color and culture. But right here, we have a lot of stories.
Yes.
So speak to us about how we're trying to connect those dots. And I know a lot goes into movie making, but are we connecting the dots as we ought to? If we need help, what is the kind of help we need?
Are we connecting the dots? For me, personally, my opinion is no. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what is possible, what is achievable when it comes to arts and our craft and the stories that we can tell. And I'm really trying not to limit it to just stories, but the arts in Nigeria, we haven't begun to scratch the surface. I'm happy with what's happening with music, but I think generally our arts is still being independently run. Everybody is a one-man army. And art really requires patrons for it to travel. It requires the people to collectively say that we have to mine this thing. It's a resource just like crude and coal and, other natural resources. We have to decide to be serious about it and then put resources into it. It's actually very capital intensive. What do I mean capital intensive? In Nollywood, one-man army, everybody is an independent filmmaker. No matter how much we try to, build up studios, it's really still, when it's me, it's my vision, it's my project. And then I have to gather people, I have to find the money myself, and then fund it and make it. There are hardly any systems of helping us work. And because I have that pressure of return of the resources put in it, I'm not able to go inward to create the art that I want to create. Exactly. So you hear things like you hear your counterparts abroad saying, I've been on this project for 8 to 12 years. Nobody can do that, Or we've been developing for 5 years. And when the product comes out, the work comes out, you see it. You see that, yes, 5 years went into this thing.
We just enjoy listening to you and how you are able to break things down, but we don't have the luxury of time.
Okay.
So, in 1 minute, what form of emergency do we need for this sector? Because I can see what you're talking about. So that's why we see what plays out in maybe what we call classical dramaturgy, when you look at all the elements of that has used to create a movie.
Yeah.
So what form of emergency in 1 minute, please, that we need right now in that sector?
Emergency.
Because we're talking state of
Forgive me, I came off NMPTL.
Okay, that's fine. Back to what I was saying, that we have to allow give the creators. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. But we should give them the grace. Give them the grace. Give them the grace, palliatives, to create.
Right.
Give them so pay the writer to write. What do I mean? Like, I want to write for 2 years. Sort out, you're talking fuel, you're talking existence, you're talking your rent or whatever. Like, okay, I'm going to pay you for 2 years to
Right.
so that you don't start thinking of, but I have to buy fuel, I have to feed, I have to this, I have to that. So that's what I mean.
Compartmentalize. So maybe we need a sound stage as well. Tyler Perry has almost 10 sound stages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are all the things, like, you know.
Totally out of time.
When next should we see you?
Yes,
What big movie are you working on? Where next should we look out for?
A film that I was in where it just premiered. I think that's why we're here.
Your titles are just, I don't know, Juju Weary.
So I play the weary in the film, and it just premiered, and it's doing its festival runs, and it should be out soon.
Very quickly, what major writing project are you working on?
Oh, I mean, I've been in the writing room for 3 years now for different people, so I'm working on a feature film for a client. I'm not sure I can say much
About that right
yes.
now. Okay.
Just know she's making the money.
I feel defiant right now, but I also have to be obedient. I want to thank you very much, Belinda Yanga. I love your last
Yanga?
name, by
Yes, it's Yanga.
Like Yanga. That's why your hair, your outfit,
everything about you is Yanga. Even your writing is Yanga. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you yet again on the program very soon. Perhaps when you launch that big writing feature film. Okay, so we have quite a number of things just before we go to touch on. We have flood, the impact of flood in Adebari Taiwo Street, Oworonshoki area of Lagos. We have that. We also have Ali Asheko Street, under bridge, Oworonshoki.
So there you go. That's the first one. Adebari Taiwo Street, Oworonshoki. There you see the flooded situation. Right there. I mean, look at that. Some people report that the flood is almost as high as their door, like it's literally coming into their vehicle, and you see some of the streets flooded. So this is a real-life situation for some people right here in Lagos State.
I think the next one is Asheko Street, on the bridge. Or that's the Oworonshoki area. I think this is Ikoyi. Okay, we've gone back to Oworonshoki. So maybe. Yeah, this is Ikoyi, yeah. The cars and the buildings around can tell. So yeah, and the bad road just did not do justice.
Yeah, Kola bus stop on Abeokuta Lagos Expressway.
Come on, look at that.
Now this is a combination of a lot of bad things.
And also,
this is why we need state of emergency.
The flood,
and this is also a traffic advisory. If you happen to live on that axis, you just might want to defer every other activity.
So this is Ogun State, right?
Yes.
This is Ogun State. So let's be clear.
And this supports our conversation earlier on the state of roads in Ogun State generally. All right, that does it on the program for today. We hope that you've been able to arm you and not harm you with information that you can use and, help you through your day. We'll be back again tomorrow to do just this in an even better way. Join us again. I am Bukola Koka.
I'm Jeffrey Ozama. Have yourself a beautiful day ahead.
Don't forget, Sunrise Daily is next. If there's anything we need to declare state of emergency, it's on corruption, hate, and all of that. I'm Kayode Nkilu. Have a great day.